Hello again everyone, Mary Rose here at Stitch Bliss Corner, and just checking in for the second week of Mania. Yes, I just thought I would come back as promised to give you an update on the piece that I'm stitching for the whole of May, and it's been very enjoyable, but I think I'm getting a bit monotonous with saying that actually. Because I think really once you get into stitching a piece, if you really like it, well, of course it's going to be fun and enjoyable to do, because that's what you're stitching for. And I think really, as stitchers, it's important not to lose sight of what your goal is with your stitching. There's not much point in spending a lot of time working on something if it's giving you grief or you feel you have to do it for whatever reason. I don't think that helps your psyche very much, and life is too short to be doing that. I think there's a lot of just you have goals that you want to achieve something, but it's no good if you're driving yourself so hard to achieve that goal that you're not getting the relaxation and the joy from stitching. Gone are the days where you had to beaver away for hours and hours on something because you needed it, because you couldn't buy a dress in a shop. Once upon a time, a lot of the clothes that were worn by the children and, the mother, were made by her, and she had to fit it into all the other activities in her day. And when cheaper clothes came along, well, there was more time for stitching as a pleasure rather than something that just had to be done. I can remember my mother used to actually turn the collars on my father's shirt. Like you have the man's collar that goes round. Well, the inside of it would get quite shredded over time, because the laundry methods were pretty brutal. You go at it with all sorts of things to get them clean, and after a while the collars would on the inside would shred a bit, and she used to take the collar off and turn it so that the underside was now on the inside in order to make it last longer. And then there were sheets on the bed. If there was a rip down the middle of the sheet, then it was cut, and the outsides were joined together so that the weakened part of the sheet was on the outside, on the edges, and there was a seam down the middle. And there were many complaints from children saying they didn't like the seam down the middle of their sheet on their bed. But that's what happened, because before linen and all that sort of thing for beds, it was quite dear. Shirts were dear. So, that's what you used to do. Oh gosh, I didn't know I was going to be saying that when I put the video going, but anyway, it was just something that occurred to me, I think some people, they need a bit of competitive what am I trying to say? There are all sorts of different stitchers, and some stitchers, when they're in a competitive situation, they thrive and they enjoy stitching that way. They enjoy the idea of joining a cell or doing something where they have to do so many stitches per week or per day or whatever it might be, and they absolutely thrive in that situation and they love it. But there are other stitchers that could get caught up in that and feel that they have to match whatever someone else is doing, and somewhere along the way the enjoyment of the actual stitching goes by the wayside. And I think, it's always good to keep that in mind when, pull yourself up every now and again and think, well, is this stitching really necessary? you know, uh, Especially when there are so many other pieces waiting to be stitched that would bring you more joy and excitement. Anyway, to get off that little rabbit trail, as they call it, and back on to the present of Stitch Mania. Now, yes, I've just been stitching. Well, let's go to the daily updates that I've been doing that Harlequin will put in for me now. This is the end of day 8. I did an update today, and I just thought I'd show you where I've got to since the update. And it's just this little area here. I've just gone above the belt to work up that way, but the stitches did the talking and I ended up over here this evening. But I'm going to work my way across and up now. So that's my update for the 8th day of Maynia. I'll catch you tomorrow. This is the end of day 9, and I'm just working up from the waist going up, and I think that he's coming along rather nicely. End of day 10, and I'm working up towards the shoulder and the head, and I must say I like that little fold there where the buckle is in the material, and along here there's quite a bit of confetti in there, which gives it a nice shape there of the arm. Yes, and I shall catch up with you again tomorrow. Hello everyone, day 11 Maynia. Happy Mother's Day to all those mothers out there. And yes, I've just put the picture next to the stitching today. As you can see, I've filled in those diamonds there, and everyone seems to be very enthusiastic about his belt, which is very nice. I quite like his belt as well. So that's as far as I've got to, and we will just see how much further I can get today. His head is up here, so we're not far away from that look he's got. I don't think he was that keen on being a model for his father, but that's another story altogether. So I'll catch you tomorrow. End of day 12. Just going across the top of his tunic there, filling that in a little bit more, and getting ever closer to the head, the Harlequin. Catch you tomorrow. Day 13. Day 13. End of stitching, day 14, and I shall be catching up with you tomorrow for a little chat about where I'm up to, and I shall see you then. So that's as far as I got, and this morning, as soon as I'd taken that last photograph or video, whatever it was that I last showed you, gosh, it's overcast today. I think it's overcasting me somehow. I did do some more stitching on him this morning, but it won't be a great deal different to what you've just seen. And that's the neck here, just coming in there and going up for the face. So as you can imagine, it's very exciting to see that face coming in. So next week, with a bit of luck, most of his face and hat will be done. And where's he gone to here? Yes, I'm up here somewhere. Well, hopefully most of that will be done, and I can start coming across and going down, and maybe I'll, in a week or so, I can get over here somewhere. So that's going to be great fun. So I think that's about it for now. I just thought I would just call in for a moment, give you an idea of where I'm up to, and catch up with you again next week. So until then, for all you who are joining in with Maynia, happy stitching. And for all of those who are watching Maynia, happy stitching. And we will see how things go. And I'll be back to see you again next week. Bye for now.